Where were you born?
Walla Walla, Washington, actually.
In what year?
1956, Walla Walla General.
And since I was born in the same year, I got to ask you what month?
Right. I remember that. Yeah, I just turned 65 last Sunday.
Oh, okay. So you're a little older than I am.
Minutes, probably. How does it feel to be 65? I tell you.
Go.
Haven't figured it out yet. I got good Medicare. I know that.
All right. So
Yeah.
I want to ask, was there music in your family?
Well, it's kind of a long story. Wasn't raised with my family. My mother had to give up all her children when she was young, so I was raised in the foster system in Washington State. But I discovered music later on when I was about 10.
Do you want to say anything about why she had to give up her children? Or...
Well, basically, she was divorced from my dad, and good terms, man. You know, we had the 6 kids, and she rented the upstairs bedroom to him and his new girlfriend. Now we're talking 1959, right? These days it would be commendable. You got mom and dad raising the kids, right? You know,
yeah,
it'd been fine, but this is 59, so the state of Washington Child Protective Services didn't think it was such a great idea, and they just came and took us all away. So, you know, we were all kicked into the foster system, and I met my mother and dad later in life, in my 30s.
So let's talk about, did the foster situation include being with your siblings at all, or were you all broken up?
No, my grandmother and grandfather got 3 of the oldest, and the rest of us were scattered out in the foster system, wards of the state.
So where were you, in Walla Walla still?
See, my early years, I don't remember a whole lot. I know I wound up in Terrace Heights in the Yakima area for a little while. Then I was placed in an orphanage for 2 years. They don't call them that anymore. They're group homes now.
Okay.
Back then they were called orphanages. I was in the Lutheran Children's Home for a couple of years.
And again, what age were you when you were fostered out?
Yeah, I was like 4.
Okay.
So
you're in a group home near Yakima.
No, I was in a foster home in Yakima, then placed in a group home or orphanage, whatever you want to call it, till about 65. And then I was placed in another foster home in Ellensburg, which I claim is my hometown. It's kind of where I was my formidable years, you know.
Where's that near?
Near Yakima, really. It's right in the center of the state.
Okay.
Like between Seattle and Spokane, right in the middle of I-90.
And did that work out well for you? Better?
Well, eventually it did. I ran away a few times, you know, and had not the greatest foster care here and there. So there was some abuse. You know, so I split and ran away a couple of times. I had a really great caseworker. I'm still in touch with him. He's 91 now. So when things got sticky, you know, he'd let me stay with him till he placed me in another home.
Wow, that probably wouldn't be allowed today.
Yeah, no, I know it's way different now. Yeah, no.
That's
so
great.
Anyway.
He was sort of an angel there for you.
Oh, totally, he still is. Yeah. Then I wound up with a family called the Frenches, and I was with them till I'm from, let's see, about 13 through high school, and we're still in touch. That was the final foster home, and it was the greatest of them all.
So tell me when music came in at all.
Yeah, you know, in the group home, we had a piano. So I was plunking out little notes, trying to learn Beatles stuff, you know. One single note and trying to sing along and stuff. So I would guess that would be my first musical experience. I hadn't picked up a guitar yet. But
so like with the radio, or did you have records?
Had some all Beatle records. The first one had just come out. I had that. And then a Hard Day's Night. So, and then something new. So I was Beatle all the way. And once I got to Ellensburg, I'd say about a year into it, maybe 67, I got a guitar. I started learning.
With private lessons or
No, self-taught. Yeah. Uh-huh.
some books?
Yeah, I had the Roy Clark Big Note songbook,
Yeah.
With the big note, actually, I learned teaching you how to read music.
Wow.
They were giant notes, like tadpoles with sticks on them.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I ever got reading music. I can still read very slowly, but
Okay.
I can piece it together if I have to. But anyway, I started playing, and by the time I was 11, I got a paper route on bought an amp and a guitar myself, and hooked up with some guys, and we started playing pretty much right away.
And so you could show each other stuff.
Oh yeah, it was totally. We didn't know what we were doing, man. If somebody knew an E chord, we were happy to learn that. And
Yeah.
bar chords were just coming, bar chords, right? Nobody could really solo or anything. We're just bashing and singing.
Right.
Yeah,
A
right.
little bit of what's Louie Louie or
We were grunge before grunge was hip. I think back then we were doing God, I'm trying to remember, it was Chuck Berry stuff and raunchy. We'd worked out, both guitar players, my friend David Selvage was his name, and we both worked out the part to raunchy, so we both played it. Not one guy got it, we both got it.
raunchy. What's that?
Raunchy.
Raunchy.
Yeah, Dwayne Eddy.
Oh, Dwayne Eddy.
Yeah, so that was like the first thing. And we just bashed it out in the garage and stuff for a couple of years, and then
Did you ever get out with that group of guys and do a dance?
we did. We played a place called the Country Post, which was back then was a tea room and kind of a place for local kind of hipsters, maybe hippies. Just a place to go and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee. So we played up on their little stage there.
Still in Ellensburg?
Ellensburg, oh yeah, all the way, yeah.
Okay.
And then we signed up for the local Kiwanis talent show and won in 1969. So that was our first trip to the big time.
And so what did that afford you?
It didn't afford us anything.
We were the cool. What did you do? First of all, did you perform for them?
Yeah, oh yeah, we did 3 songs. One, Raunchy was one of them, and we did I think it was Green River, and then we did a song called Garland's Song, which is the song we wrote all together.
All right, an original already.
It was just a boogie song that had an F sharp in it. It was an E and it went to the F sharp. So we were real cool, right? Because we went to the two chord.
How many were in the band?
It was 4-piece bass, 2 guitars and drums.
Okay. And
we're all still in touch these days.
Were you a singer yet?
I was singing. I was the one that did the singing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just sort of like jumped into it and it worked out.
Right. And at that point, we were starting to learn songs by Zepp and The Who and Beatles.
Yeah.
It's a little more uptown. If the chords were wrong, it didn't matter. Just bashed them out. And we did play our little dances at the junior high, and that's how things got rolling. I was hooked.
Great.
Still am. Like an idiot.
Well,
like a happy idiot.
Well, music saves people's lives.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know what I would have done, really.
Yeah.
I talk to guitar players all the time and ask them what inspired them. I just didn't want to deal with anybody. I'd go to my room and play guitar for hours on end. I was the same way. Come home from school and played till I fell asleep, every day.
Yeah. Right.
So a lot of us have that in common, First love and probably our last.
All right. So did you graduate from high school then, or?
Yeah, I went on to I was just 1 year older, so when I joined the high school, the 4-year high school in 9th grade, the other 3 were still behind, so they were in the junior high. You know what I mean? So I had this 4-year class basically looking at all these young, older guys, and they knew I played the guitar. So I hooked up with some older guys then. And we were called Boulder Creek, and we did country rock, birds, grandparts, and stuff like that, you know. And we played together through high school, all the way through high school, playing kegers, school dances, pretty much everything like that, you know.
Could get
Just like
the girl attention and everything.
yeah, the idea back then is to play the coolest songs and then get the girls in the coolest gigs, right? Man, that was the deal. Nobody was writing songs. We were just trying to be a really good cover band. Okay. And that went on till I graduated, and then I hooked up with some guys called the Nash Band, and we played for another 3 years. We had a little band and a trailer and traveled all over the place.
Is this the band that Pete Daigle was in?
No, that comes a little bit later.
Okay, don't let me get you ahead of things.
Yeah.
So you're traveling around with the Nash Band.
Yeah, the Nash Band was like a real good top 40 band. That was our only mission and goal, was just to be good. And then, you know, we had like matching clothes and stuff like that, you know.
Were you still in high school?
No, we're out of high school.
Okay.
Yeah. Each band I was in, I stayed with for a few years, you know. I mean, that was just how things progressed. I wasn't bouncing around too much. But yeah, we'd have like Hawaiian night, and we'd dress in black one night, white the next night, or something like that, you know.
Did you find that you were the sort of leader of the band, being the lead singer and everything?
Well, in that band, there was 3 strong singers. So we all kind of would bring songs in, and there was no really any hierarchy, you know, with that band. Yeah, we were all kind of like equal, and there wasn't any like one guy, you know, calling the shots or the arrangements and stuff like that. On stage, we designated our bass player because he was the best at snappy patter and talking to basically college crowd, you know. But we did a lot of those kind of gigs and stuff. So he was just better at it. So we put him up front.
Yeah.
So it appeared like he was the leader, but he really was just the mic guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played with them through 78. You know, I graduated in 75. We played all the way through. And
how wide are you traveling?
We did the tri-state pretty much. Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, 4 states.
Wow.
And up into BC, we did a lot of that. Yeah, for a small town band, people were pretty proud of us, man, getting out there doing it, you know. It was just a little bitty Clovis type town, really. Not much to it. So we did that. And one day I gave notice and said, I'm moving to Seattle, guys. Got to get out. So I loaded my 59 Biscayne. I think I had $300, and I moved to Seattle. A friend of mine had an apartment in Ballard, so I was living with him, renting a room, and I was asking around, how do you find gigs in Seattle? It's so big. I don't know anybody. And down at Guitar Center, they said, check out the Seattle PI. That's the Post-Intelligencer newspaper. So I'm thumbing through it, you know, musicians wanted. Ta-da.
Wait a minute. There was a Guitar Center back then?
There was a Guitar Center back then. Yeah, right. Well, this is 1978. Yeah.
I don't remember seeing Guitar Center till much later.
Oh, no, there was one down on First Avenue in Seattle. And there was American Music up there, too. There was a couple of good stores.
Okay.
Plus a couple of mom and pop kind of places. But anyway, musicians wanted guitarists needed for traveling. I think it said lounge act or something. It wasn't a rock band, but it struck me as like, well, this is probably going to be a suit and tie thing, you know. Ring, Pete Daigle on the phone. Yeah. So we set up an audition, and I went down to Des Moines, where he still lives. And we got together, passed the audition, and we're gone 2 weeks later to Keto's Cave in Petersburg, Alaska.
Wow.
I know, just like that, bam,
So was the music different?
It was lounge, yeah, soft rock, Seals and Crofts, da da da,
Right.
right along James Taylor kind of stuff. We had a nice, easy first set because we were playing for cocktails and dinner, and then that transposed into dancing after 10:30 or 11, right? So it's kind of easing up into the night. It's kind of trippy, really. So just getting on stage and playing loud and fast from the get-go, you kind of ease into it. It's kind of cool.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, that's how I met Pete and John, and suit and tie gig.
So what year is this now?
I played with them.
79?
Yes, 78, latter part of 78 and clear through 79. Yeah. And then things just kind of slowed down, and I think I can't remember exactly what happened now that I'm thinking about it. I remember there being a big gap, something Pete or John had something.
I think we call that the 80s.
Yeah, it was coming up on the 80s. And so just kind of moved on, from there.
Well, so that band came to an end or what?
Well, they continued, but I came to an end with it because there was a gap, and I ended up just kind of jamming with some other people and some friends and stuff, and then it led to another band called the Torpedoes in Seattle. So we were gigging a little club circuit over there. So I just got
back more into the rock thing or something? Or?
Oh yeah, it was. We were starting to write songs and trying to be Little Feat, kind of. That's when I started learning how to play slide a little better and stuff. So I did that about a year, I guess. I don't know. And then fell in love and moved back to Ellensburg.
Oh.
Yeah. And I played with a band called the Greasewood City Ramblers, which was exactly what it is, what it sounds like. A Commander Cody kind of sort of hippie country rock.
What does Greasewood refer to?
Huh?
What does Greasewood refer to?
Just Greasewood. It's actually in a W.C. Fields movie.
Oh.
And he's getting off the train. He says, "Welcome to Greasewood City."
Oh, nice.
So we were the Greasewood City Ramblers. Anyway, okay. It was fun. But then Liz and I had visited San Francisco in '81 and just went, whoa, wow, whoa, gotta have this. We went to the blues festival, and then we followed some of the blues bands around that were playing the festival at the different clubs, like North Beach and stuff. And we were there for a week and a half. We said, gotta try this, So we gave notice. I did, to Greasewood, and she had just graduated from college, and we moved to San Francisco.
In what year?
This was 1982.
What bands were you following, or what blues bands were you following around?
Back then, I'm trying to remember, it was Mark Knapflin's Blues Review. We saw Albert King, B.B. King, and Albert Collins. Man, there was just everybody that was something was playing back there. And Nick Gravenites, and just tons of Etta James, Irma Thomas, and they were all playing the festival down at Port Mason, and I just, whoa, man, gotta get into some of this. This is too good.
Did you run into Ron Thompson at all?
Didn't see him. Wait a minute. Yes, I did. He was playing the band shell. That's right. Him and Leonard Gill and some other people. I can't remember the other guy's name, but yeah, I did. He was playing
the what?
The band shell at the Golden Gate Park. The big.
Oh, okay.
Like the oyster shell thing they have there.
So did you live in the city?
We lived up in Rhode Island on North Russian Hill, Potrero.
Okay.
Yeah, we were staying with some friends. We weren't actually living there, but we were kind of staying there and helping out with this and that. And then we moved. We found an apartment in Alameda. So
And
that's the next phase.
So did you hook up with an actual band or are you,
I hadn't right away, we had saved up enough money to have some cushion, so we weren't going to have to panic. We both decided if we fall on our face, the worst that can happen was move back, right, to Ellensburg. But, um, you know, here we back to the newspaper, man. There was a thing, you probably know what BAM magazine.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I found an ad in there for a gig, um, playing Korean music and American standards.
Korean music.
Yes, at a place called Club Chinatown in Oakland. So I answered the ad and they said, would you be opposed to playing any Korean music? And I said, well, I don't really know any. She said, well, most of it's like uh, House of the Rising Sun, it's like those kinds of chords and minors. And I said, sure. She goes, and I have charts for everything. I said, okay, well, all right. She goes, well, we'll need you to sing some Elvis and some American music. It was a Korean bar. So I gigged there 4 nights a week.
Where?
It was in Oakland,
Okay.
East Oakland, yeah.
What was the name of it?
It was called Club Chinatown.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a really great band. Wayne Dela Cruz, who had just played with Bloomfield a couple of years ago, was playing B3 and kicking bass over here. And the drummer was from Hummel, Mark Hummel's band, and they were just, money gig, right?
Wow.
And it was the us and the Korean lady singer. So
When you
she'd
say
do it.
us, what do you mean by us?
Well, it was the drummer, me, and the keyboard player,
Okay.
and a lady singer, Korean lady.
Okay.
And she'd do the first set, and we'd do the second, and then she'd finish the night, 3 sets a night. So it was a trip.
So she was singing in Korean?
Korean songs about dead soldiers and longing of love and all these things, it's just really
But
dark.
but Western chord progressions.
Yeah. A lot of A minors and D. It was just minor stuff,
So a
minor
Korean,
drama.
a largely Asian following
Oh,
audience.
completely. Yeah. All the way. That was their hang. That was their place. Yeah.
Okay.
So I played there for I don't know, 6-8 months until they replaced us with a DJ.
The 80s.
Yeah, my first experience with being replaced by a DJ.